In a small village nestled between lush green hills and flowing rivers, there lived a man named Kofi and his wife, Ama. The village was vibrant, with a close-knit community that thrived on agriculture and traditional crafts. Kofi was known for his skill in weaving beautiful baskets that were in high demand at the market. Ama, on the other hand, was renowned for her knowledge of medicinal herbs and her kind heart. Together, they were a beloved couple, respected by all. However, beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect life, there was an undercurrent of tension. Kofi had always been a jealous man, often insecure about Ama's interactions with other villagers. His jealousy, though unfounded, grew into a silent storm that threatened their happiness. Ama, patient and understanding, tried to reassure her husband, but the seeds of doubt had already taken root in Kofi's heart. One fateful day, a stranger arrived in the village. He was a traveler from a distant land, seeking shelter and food. The village, known for its hospitality, welcomed him with open arms. The stranger, whose name was Kwame, had an air of mystery about him. He was well-spoken and charismatic, quickly charming the villagers with tales of his travels and knowledge of distant places. Ama, curious about Kwame's stories, spent time with him, learning about his journeys and the herbs he had encountered. Kofi watched from a distance, his jealousy flaring as he saw his wife engage with the stranger. He convinced himself that Ama's interest in Kwame was more than just curiosity. This irrational belief began to consume him, turning his love into a twisted form of possession. One evening, as the village gathered for a communal feast, Kofi's jealousy reached a boiling point. He confronted Ama in a fit of rage, accusing her of betraying him. Ama, shocked and hurt by his accusations, tried to calm him down, but Kofi was beyond reason. His mind was clouded with jealousy and anger, and in that moment, he made a fateful decision that would change their lives forever. Kofi, driven by his irrational thoughts, decided that the only way to keep Ama from betraying him was to get rid of her. His plan was sinister and cruel. He would bury her alive. In the dead of night, while the village slept, Kofi forced Ama to accompany him to a remote part of the forest. Ama, realizing the gravity of her husband's intentions, pleaded with him to reconsider, but Kofi's heart had turned to stone. As they reached a secluded clearing, Kofi began to dig a grave. Ama's cries for mercy echoed through the silent forest, but no one was there to hear her. With each shovelful of earth, Kofi's rage seemed to intensify. When the grave was deep enough, he forced Ama into it and began to cover her with dirt. Ama's sobs and pleas were muffled as the earth piled up, her life slipping away with each passing moment. In the early hours of the morning, Kofi returned to the village, his clothes soiled and his hands trembling. The villagers noticed his strange behavior, but thought little of it, unaware of the horror that had just taken place. Kofi, now alone in his home, was haunted by the memory of what he had done. He could not escape the image of Ama's face, her eyes filled with terror and betrayal. Days turned into weeks, and the villagers began to question Ama's absence. Kofi, desperate to cover his tracks, spread rumors that she had run away with Kwame. The villagers, though saddened by Ama's disappearance, believed Kofi's story, as Kwame had also left the village shortly after. However, the weight of his guilt and the knowledge of his crime began to take a toll on Kofi's mind. One night, as Kofi lay in bed, he was visited by a ghostly apparition. It was Ama, her face pale and her eyes hollow. She spoke to him in a voice that chilled him to the bone, telling him that he would never find peace until he confessed his crime. Kofi, terrified and remorseful, begged for forgiveness, but Ama's spirit vanished, leaving him with the promise of eternal torment. The following days were a living nightmare for Kofi. He was tormented by visions of Ama, her ghost appearing in every corner of his home. He heard her voice in the wind, whispering his guilt and reminding him of his unforgivable act. Kofi's health deteriorated rapidly, his once strong body wasting away under the weight of his conscience. Unable to bear the torment any longer, Kofi decided to confess. He gathered the villagers and told them the truth about what he had done. The villagers, horrified and heartbroken, could not believe that Kofi, a man they had trusted and respected, was capable of such an atrocity. They took him to the village elders, who decided that Kofi must face justice for his crime. The elders decreed that Kofi would be buried alive, just as he had done to Ama. The villagers, though saddened by the loss of two beloved members of their community, understood the need for justice. Kofi, resigned to his fate, did not resist. As he was lowered into the grave he had dug for Amma, he felt a sense of relief. The torment would finally end, and he would be reunited with his wife in the afterlife. As the last shovelful of earth covered him, Kofi's spirit left his body. In the afterlife, he was met by Amma, her face no longer twisted in pain, but serene and forgiving. She took his hand, and together they walked into the light, leaving behind the village that had been both their home and the site of their tragedy. The villagers, having witnessed the consequences of jealousy and unchecked emotion, vowed to remember the story of Kofi and Amma. They told it to their children and grandchildren, ensuring that the tale of love, betrayal, and redemption would never be forgotten. And so the legend of Kofi and Amma lived on, a cautionary tale that warned against the dangers of jealousy and the importance of trust and understanding in any relationship. In the days following Kofi's confession, a palpable tension settled over the village. The once lively atmosphere was now tinged with a sense of unease and sorrow. The villagers struggled to reconcile the Kofi they had known with the monstrous act he had committed. Conversations were hushed, and the laughter that once echoed through the fields was replaced with whispers of fear and speculation. As the elders conducted their rituals to cleanse the village of the dark deeds, an ominous feeling lingered. The forest, usually a source of life and sustenance, now seemed to hold secrets and shadows. Children were warned not to stray too far, and even the bravest hunters felt a chill when venturing into the woods. Among the villagers, there was a young woman named Ifia. She had been close to Amma, often seeking her wisdom and learning about the healing properties of herbs. Amma had been like an older sister to her, guiding her with patience and love. Ifia was devastated by Amma's death and couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister was at play. Determined to uncover the truth, Ifia began to investigate on her own. She spoke to those who had last seen Amma, piecing together fragments of conversations and observing the places Amma had frequented. Her intuition told her that there was more to the story than what Kofi had revealed. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast long shadows across the village, Ifia decided to visit the spot where Amma had been buried. She felt a pull, a need to understand what had truly happened. Gathering her courage, she ventured into the forest, her heart pounding with each step. The forest was eerily quiet, the usual sounds of birds and insects absent, as if the trees themselves were holding their breath. Ifia reached the clearing where Amma's grave lay and knelt beside it. She closed her eyes and whispered a prayer, asking for guidance and strength. As she sat in silence, Ifia heard a rustle behind her. She turned to see an old woman emerging from the trees. Her hair was silver, and her eyes held the wisdom of many lifetimes. Ifia recognized her as Nana Ya, the village seer, who was rarely seen outside her secluded hut. Nana Ya approached Ifia and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Child," she said in a voice that seemed to resonate with the very earth, "you seek answers, but the answers you seek are not here. Amma's spirit is restless, and her story is not yet finished." Ifia looked up at Nana Ya, her eyes filled with determination. "What must I do, Nana? How can I help Amma find peace?" The seer nodded as if she had expected this question. "There is a place deep within the heart of the forest where the veil between our world and the spirit world is thin. You must go there and call out to Amma's spirit. Only then will you learn the truth and set her soul free." With a sense of purpose, Ifia set off deeper into the forest, guided by Nana Ya's instructions. The path was treacherous, and the undergrowth seemed to clutch at her ankles, as if trying to hold her back, but Ifia pressed on, driven by her love for Amma and her need for justice. After what felt like hours, Ifia reached a small clearing bathed in an ethereal light. The air was thick with the scent of flowers and the sound of whispers that seemed to come from the very trees. She stood at the center of the clearing and called out to Amma, her voice steady and clear. "Amma, I am here. I seek the truth and wish to help you find peace. Please show me the way." For a moment, there was only silence. Then, a soft glow appeared before Ifia, gradually taking the shape of Amma's spirit. Amma's face was serene, but her eyes held a deep sadness. "Ifia," Amma's voice echoed softly, "thank you for coming. There is much you need to know." Amma's spirit revealed that on the night of her death, she had sensed an evil presence in the village, something far darker than Kofi's jealousy. It was this presence that had fueled Kofi's irrational behavior and driven him to commit such a heinous act. Amma's death was part of a larger plan to bring turmoil and despair to the village. Ifia listened intently, her heart heavy with the weight of Alma's words. "What can we do, Alma? How can we protect our village and bring peace to your soul?" Alma's spirit shimmered with determination. "You must find the source of this darkness and confront it. Only then will the village be free from its grasp. Seek out the ancient shrine hidden deep within the forest. There you will find the answers you need." With Alma's guidance, Ifia knew what she had to do. She vowed to uncover the evil that had plagued their village and bring an end to its reign. As Alma's spirit faded, Ifia felt a renewed sense of purpose and strength. Ifia returned to the village, her mind racing with the revelations she had received. She sought out Nanaya once more, sharing everything Alma had told her. The seer nodded solemnly, her eyes reflecting the gravity of the situation. "You have a difficult path ahead, Ifia," Nanaya said. "But know that you are not alone. The spirits of our ancestors will guide you, and the strength of the village will be with you." With Nanaya's blessing, Ifia prepared for the journey to the ancient shrine. She gathered supplies and spoke to the villagers, rallying them to the cause. Though fear lingered in their hearts, the villagers found hope in Ifia's determination and the promise of a brighter future. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Ifia set off once more into the forest, ready to face the unknown and uncover the truth that would set her village free. Ifia moved deeper into the forest, the weight of her mission pressing on her shoulders. The villagers had given her their blessings, and she felt the presence of their hopes and prayers guiding her steps. The dense canopy above allowed only slivers of sunlight to pierce through, casting eerie patterns on the forest floor. Each rustle of leaves and snap of a twig heightened her senses, reminding her of the danger that lay ahead. As she advanced, the air grew thicker, charged with an almost tangible energy. The trees seemed older here, their gnarled roots weaving intricate patterns through the earth. Ifia knew she was getting closer to the ancient shrine, a place shrouded in mystery and protected by time itself. In the heart of this ancient grove, Ifia stumbled upon a clearing unlike any she had seen before. At its center stood a stone altar, covered in moss and vines, symbols of a long-forgotten language etched into its surface. Ifia approached with reverence, feeling the weight of history and the power that emanated from the altar. As she reached out to touch the stone, a sudden chill ran down her spine. She turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. It was an old man, his skin weathered like the bark of the ancient trees, his eyes sharp and knowing. He wore a cloak of leaves and carried a staff adorned with feathers and bones. "Welcome, Ifia," the old man said, his voice as deep and resonant as the forest itself. "I am Adisa, the guardian of this sacred place. You seek the truth, and you seek to free your village from the darkness that has befallen it." Ifia nodded, her voice steady despite the fear that churned within her. "Yes, Adisa, Ama's spirit has guided me here. I need to know how to confront the evil that has taken hold of our home." Adisa's eyes glimmered with approval. "You are brave, Ifia, and your heart is pure. The darkness you seek to vanquish is not of this world alone. It is an ancient spirit of malice that feeds on jealousy and fear. To defeat it, you must confront it within its own domain." With a wave of his staff, Adisa revealed a hidden pathway that led deeper into the forest. "Follow this path to the Cave of Shadows," he instructed. "There you will face the spirit. Remember, only the light of truth and the strength of your heart can prevail against such darkness." Ifia thanked Adisa and took a deep breath before stepping onto the path. The air grew colder as she walked, and the shadows seemed to whisper secrets and warnings. Her resolve never wavered, fueled by the memory of Alma's kindness and the love she held for her village. Finally, she arrived at the mouth of the Cave of Shadows. The entrance loomed before her, a gaping maw of darkness that seemed to swallow all light. Summoning all her courage, Ifia stepped inside. The cave was a labyrinth of twisting passages and echoing chambers. Ifia could feel the malevolent presence growing stronger with each step. She clutched a small talisman Nanaya had given her, a symbol of protection and guidance. Its warmth against her skin was a constant reminder that she was not alone. At the heart of the cave, Ifia found the source of the darkness. A swirling mass of shadows coalesced into a fearsome entity, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The spirit's form shifted and twisted, feeding on the fear it sensed in Ifia. "You dare to confront me?" The spirit hissed, its voice a chorus of whispers. "I have fed on the jealousy and hatred of your people for centuries. What makes you think you can stop me?" Ifia stood tall, her voice unwavering. "I am here to end your reign of terror. You have caused enough pain and suffering. It is time for you to be banished from our world." The spirit lunged at her, but Ephia held her ground. She closed her eyes and focused on the love and light within her heart. The talisman in her hand glowed brighter, and a beam of pure light shot forth, striking the spirit. The darkness recoiled, shrieking in agony. Drawing strength from her determination and the support of her village, Ephia pressed forward. She chanted a prayer of protection, the words flowing from her lips like a river of light. The spirit writhed and twisted, unable to withstand the power of her resolve. With one final desperate cry, the spirit shattered into 1,000,000 fragments of darkness, each one dissolving into nothingness. The cave was filled with a blinding light, and Ephia felt a wave of relief wash over her. The evil presence was gone. Exhausted but triumphant, Ephia made her way out of the cave. The forest seemed brighter, the air lighter, as if a great burden had been lifted. She returned to the village, where the people greeted her with cheers and tears of joy. Ephia had succeeded, and the village was free from the darkness that had plagued it. The story of her bravery would be told for generations, a reminder of the power of love and the strength of the human spirit. Ephia's return to the village brought a new sense of hope and renewal. The villagers gathered around her, their faces lit with admiration and gratitude. They knew that the evil had been vanquished, but there was still much to do to heal the wounds that had been inflicted upon their community. Nanaya approached Ephia, her eyes filled with pride. "You have done well, Ephia. The spirit is gone, but we must now restore balance to our village. There is a ceremony we must perform, one that will cleanse our land and honor those we have lost." Ephia nodded, understanding the importance of this ritual. She joined Nanaya and the elders as they prepared for the cleansing ceremony. The villagers gathered in the central square, their hearts united in a common purpose. The ceremony began with the lighting of a sacred fire. Nanaya chanted ancient words, her voice carrying the power of generations past. The flames danced and flickered, casting a warm glow over the assembly. The villagers joined in, singing and clapping, their spirits lifting with each note. As the ritual continued, Ephia felt a profound connection to her ancestors and the land. She knew that Amma's spirit was at peace and that the village would emerge stronger from this ordeal. The air was filled with the scent of burning herbs and the rhythmic beat of drums, creating a powerful atmosphere of unity and healing. Suddenly, a bright light appeared above the sacred fire. The villagers gasped in awe as the light took the form of a majestic bird, its wings shimmering with iridescent colors. It soared above them, a symbol of rebirth and renewal. The bird circled the village 3 times before disappearing into the sky, leaving a trail of light that seemed to bless the land. With the ceremony complete, the villagers felt a renewed sense of purpose. They began to rebuild their homes and their lives, working together with a spirit of cooperation and compassion. The fields were tended with care, and the laughter of children returned to the village. Ephia, now a revered figure among her people, continued to share her knowledge and wisdom. She taught the children about the importance of love, trust, and community. She also ensured that Amma's legacy lived on, passing down her knowledge of medicinal herbs and the healing arts. One evening, as Ephia sat by the river, reflecting on all that had transpired, she felt a presence beside her. She turned to see Adisa, the guardian of the forest, standing there with a serene smile. "You have done well, Ephia," Adisa said. "The village is safe and the balance has been restored. But remember, the strength of your heart and the love of your people are what truly protect you." Ephia thanked Adisa, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for his guidance. She knew that the future would bring its own challenges, but she also knew that her village was resilient and that they would face whatever came their way together. As the sun set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Ephia felt a profound peace settle over her. The village was bathed in the golden light of dusk, a testament to the strength and unity of its people. And in that moment, Ephia knew that the spirit of Amma and the ancestors would always watch over them, guiding and protecting their beloved home. Life in the village gradually returned to normal. Yet there were subtle changes. The air felt fresher, the sun warmer, and the bonds between villagers stronger. Ephia became a central figure in the community, her wisdom sought after in matters both large and small. One evening, as the villagers gathered around the communal fire, Nanaya spoke. "The land has been cleansed, but there is still a hidden truth that must be uncovered. An old legend tells of an ancient artifact buried beneath the old baobab tree. It is said to hold the power to protect our village for generations. The villagers murmured in curiosity. The old baobab tree was a revered landmark, its roots deep and wide, its branches stretching toward the heavens like welcoming arms. Efia, ever the brave soul, volunteered to uncover this hidden treasure. Under the light of a full moon, Efia, accompanied by a few trusted villagers, made their way to the ancient tree. Its massive trunk seemed to glow in the moonlight, and the leaves rustled as if whispering secrets of old. They began to dig carefully around the base of the tree, their tools cutting through the earth with a sense of purpose. Hours passed, and just as the first light of dawn began to break, Efia's spade struck something hard. With careful hands, they unearthed a small, intricately carved chest. The wood was aged and worn, but the craftsmanship was unmistakable. Symbols of protection and prosperity adorned its surface. Efia opened the chest to reveal a stunningly beautiful amulet. It was crafted from gold and adorned with precious stones that shimmered with an inner light. The amulet pulsed with a gentle warmth, and those present felt an overwhelming sense of peace and safety. Nanaya examined the artifact with reverence. "This is the heart of the ancestors," she said softly. "It is said to be blessed by our forebears, imbued with their wisdom and strength. As long as it remains in our village, we will be protected from any evil that dares to threaten us." The amulet was placed in a sacred spot within the village, and immediately its protective energy seemed to envelop their home. Crops grew more abundantly, animals thrived, and the villagers found new depths of harmony and joy. Years passed, and the story of Efia's bravery and the discovery of the heart of the ancestors became legend. The village prospered, untouched by misfortune, and the bonds between its people only grew stronger. Efia, though now older, remained the heart of the community. She watched as children grew into wise adults, always reminding them of the importance of courage, unity, and respect for the past. And so, the village thrived under the watchful eyes of their ancestors, forever grateful to Efia for her unwavering spirit and the sacred amulet that protected their future. Many seasons passed, and the village basked in an era of prosperity. Yet the forest that had once been a source of fear and mystery now held a different aura. The elders spoke of it with renewed respect, for it was the dwelling place of spirits both benign and watchful. One crisp morning, a young hunter named Kwaku returned from the forest with an unusual tale. He had encountered an old woman dressed in leaves and twigs, her eyes sparkling with wisdom. She spoke to him in a language of the trees, urging him to bring a message back to the village. The spirits of the forest had a request, one that could not be ignored. Nanaya, Efia, and the other elders gathered to hear Kwaku's story. "She said we must seek out the sacred grove," Kwaku recounted, "and offer thanks for the protection we've received. The spirits wish for us to maintain the balance between our world and theirs." The village prepared for this important task. Offerings were gathered, baskets of fruit, woven cloths, and crafted figures representing animals and ancestors. Efia, now revered as a wise matriarch, led a small group into the depths of the forest. The sacred grove was a place whispered about in stories, a hidden sanctuary where the veil between the living and the spiritual realms was thin. Guided by the whispers of leaves and the call of unseen birds, Efia and her companions walked with reverence, each step a silent prayer. Upon reaching the grove, they were greeted by a sight of breathtaking beauty. Ancient trees encircled a clearing, where sunlight streamed through, illuminating the vibrant flora and crystal-clear spring at its center. The air was alive with a gentle hum, a harmonious blend of nature's symphony and the echoes of ancestral voices. Efia approached the spring and knelt beside it, placing the offerings around its edge. She spoke in a voice filled with gratitude, thanking the spirits for their protection and pledging the village's continued respect and reverence for the natural world. As her words faded into the quiet of the grove, the water in the spring began to shimmer. From its depths emerged a figure, ethereal and radiant. It was the spirit of Amma, her presence as gentle and wise as Efia remembered. The villagers bowed their heads, overcome with awe and reverence. "Efia," Amma's spirit spoke, her voice like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. "You have honored the bond between our world and the spirits. The balance you have maintained will ensure the prosperity and peace of your village for generations to come." With a final blessing, Amma's spirit dissipated into the air, her essence merging with the grove. The villagers felt a profound sense of fulfillment and peace. They returned to the village with lighter hearts, knowing they had upheld their sacred duty. From that day on, the sacred grove became a place of pilgrimage and reverence for the villagers. They visited it regularly to offer thanks and seek guidance, fostering a deep connection with the spirits that watched over them. The forest, once a place of fear, was now a sanctuary of wisdom and protection. Efia's legacy continued to grow, her name spoken with respect and gratitude. She had not only saved her village but had also ensured a lasting harmony between the people and the spirits of the land. The village thrived in this balance, their future secure and their past honored. And so, the tale of Efia, the heart of the ancestors and the sacred grove, became a cherished part of the village's lore, a timeless reminder of the power of courage, unity, and respect for the natural world. As years flowed by like the river's current, the village enjoyed an unbroken spell of peace and prosperity. However, the tranquility began to waver when strange occurrences emerged. Livestock disappeared, crops withered overnight, and an uncharacteristic tension gripped the villagers. Whispers of discontent and fear spread like wildfire. Efia, now an elder, gathered the villagers to discuss these unsettling events. Among them was Kwabena, a young and ambitious man who had always harbored dreams of becoming a leader. He voiced his suspicions, suggesting that the harmony with the spirits had been disturbed. "We must find the cause of this disruption," Kwabena urged. "If we do not, our village may fall into ruin." Nanaya and Efia exchanged worried glances. They knew the village's strength lay in its unity and respect for the spiritual realm. To restore balance, they decided to seek counsel from the forest spirits once more. Efia, accompanied by Kwabena and a few other trusted villagers, ventured into the sacred grove. The forest, usually a haven of calm, seemed agitated. The leaves rustled more violently, and the animals remained hidden, their usual songs absent. At the spring, Efia performed the familiar ritual, offering prayers and gifts to the spirits. This time, however, the water remained still, and no spirit emerged to greet them. The villagers grew anxious, fearing that their bond with the spirits had weakened. Kwabena, impatient and driven by his ambition, suggested a different approach. "Perhaps we need to offer something more valuable," he proposed, "something that shows our commitment and gratitude." The villagers were divided, some agreeing with Kwabena's idea, while others, like Efia, believed that their sincerity was the most important offering. Nonetheless, Kwabena's suggestion planted seeds of doubt and unease. Determined to resolve the matter, Efia decided to spend the night in the grove, seeking guidance through meditation and dreams. As the moon rose high, she entered a deep trance. Her spirit wandered through the forest, reaching out to the ancestral realm. In her vision, she saw a figure cloaked in shadow, lurking at the edge of the village. The figure's presence felt wrong, its energy disruptive and malevolent. She realized that this entity was the source of their troubles, feeding on the village's fear and discord. Efia awoke with a start, her heart pounding. She knew what needed to be done. At dawn, she gathered the villagers once more and recounted her vision. "We must find this shadowy figure and confront it. Only then can we restore the balance and protect our home." The villagers, though fearful, trusted Efia's wisdom. They spread out, searching every corner of the village and its surroundings. It was Kwabena who eventually discovered a hidden cave, concealed by thick vines and darkness. Inside the cave, they found the shadowy figure, a twisted spirit of envy and malice, drawn to the village's prosperity. The spirit hissed and snarled, its form shifting and flickering like a flame. Efia stepped forward, her voice strong and unwavering. "You have no place here. This village is protected by the spirits of our ancestors and the unity of its people. Leave now, or face the consequences." The spirit lunged at her, but Efia held up the heart of the ancestors. The amulet glowed with a radiant light, and the spirit recoiled, its form unraveling in the presence of such pure energy. With a final anguished wail, the spirit dissolved into nothingness. The villagers emerged from the cave, their hearts lighter and their spirits uplifted. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. Efia, though weary, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The village was safe once more, its future secured through their courage and unity. The forest, now at peace, resumed its gentle song. The sacred grove thrived, a testament to the enduring harmony between the villagers and the spirits. The lessons learned were etched into the hearts of the people, guiding them through future challenges with wisdom and strength. And so, the tale of the shadowy figure became another chapter in the village's rich tapestry of stories. a reminder of the power of unity and the strength found in confronting darkness with light. With the defeat of the malevolent spirit, the village returned to its harmonious rhythm. Ephia, though now aged, continued to be a pillar of wisdom and guidance. Her actions had not only protected the village, but had also strengthened the ties between the people and the spirits of the land. One day, as the golden hues of sunset bathed the village, Ephia gathered the villagers for a final meeting. They assembled around the sacred fire, a symbol of their unity and resilience. The atmosphere was filled with a sense of reverence and anticipation. "Ephia," Nana Ya began, her voice gentle yet firm, "you have led us through many trials. Your courage and wisdom have safeguarded our future. We must now honor you and ensure that your legacy continues." Ephia smiled, her eyes reflecting the warmth of the fire. "The strength of our village lies in the hearts of its people. It is our unity and respect for each other and the spirits that have seen us through. As I step back, it is you who must carry forward these values." Kwabena, who had grown wiser through the trials they had faced together, stepped forward. "Ephia, we have learned so much from you. We will honor the traditions and continue to protect our village with the same courage and unity you have shown." As a token of their gratitude, the villagers presented Ephia with a beautifully crafted staff, adorned with symbols of their history and the heart of the ancestors. It was a symbol of leadership and wisdom, a reminder of her invaluable contributions. Ephia accepted the staff, her heart swelling with pride and love for her people. "I leave this village in capable hands. Remember the lessons we have learned. Stay united, respect the spirits, and face any darkness with the light of truth and love." That night, under a sky studded with stars, the village held a grand celebration. Music, dance, and laughter filled the air, a tribute to their shared resilience and the bright future ahead. Ephia watched with contentment, knowing that her legacy would live on through the hearts and actions of the villagers. In the days that followed, Ephia spent her time imparting her knowledge to the younger generation, ensuring that the wisdom of the past would guide them in the future. She often visited the sacred grove, finding peace and communion with the spirits who had always been their silent guardians. Years later, as Ephia's time came to join the ancestors, the village gathered once more to honor her life. Her spirit, now a revered guardian, was said to watch over the village, continuing to offer protection and guidance. The village thrived, its story one of courage, unity, and respect for the natural and spiritual worlds. Ephia's teachings and the symbols of their trials, the amulet, the sacred grove, and the staff, became integral parts of their cultural heritage. And so, the tale of Ephia and her village became a beacon for future generations, a reminder that no matter the darkness, the light of unity and courage would always prevail. The spirits of the ancestors, with Ephia among them, ensured that the village remained a place of harmony and prosperity, their legacy shining brightly through the ages.